Okay. Fantastic. All right, cool. So today we're going to do some 3D modeling, or some ZBrush sculpting, really. But okay. Okay, let's get started. Okay. I'm gonna post this stream real fast on my Discord. Copy. Let's see. Okay. Alright, so let's get started. So first off, one thing that so the first thing you need to do really is like to bring in your reference. So let me go ahead and grab the reference. So this is the some of the characters I'll be making in the next couple weeks. So let's see. So currently I'm trying to make Mallet Boy. Mallet Boy is kind of like this crazy punk kid who like holds around a mallet and rides like kind of like a derby car. Yeah, I want him to have a lot of attitude and look pretty ferocious. So let's see what we can do. So to get your texture in, go to texture. Okay, I'll actually do okay, so currently this is the texture I'm using. And to bring it up, you go over here and add the plus sign. There we go. So this is kind of like the sketch I have for him and everything. He will be a tad bit different than this. This is kind of just like kind of a base. But as far as scale goes, I actually wanted to get close to, let's see, close to her scale, and so it's gonna be similar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up a different texture for her. Just when I do my block out, I can do similar to her scale. So let's go over to texture again. Okay, let me bring her in. Okay. And then plus again. So now I can shift, or I can select between these two. So that's how you do it. You just press Z, and then you can double click, and then that will bring up the next one, basically. So it's pretty nifty. All right, so let's see if it's my recording is going just fine. Sorry. Okay, my music is definitely too loud. Sorry about that, yo. Okay. So to start out this, we want to block out the character. So that's the first step, is to block out the main form of the character. So I'm gonna go into bring out of that. I'm actually going to start out with this guy. This helps me a lot. So this is this ruler is from a workshop I did, or not me, but Shane Olson. So I did his program over last summer, and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely suggest his program. But yeah, so for me, I don't necessarily need that ruler, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. And I have this circle, right? So that's kind of just gonna be a base. I didn't know I was gonna have rap in here. Let's go back to hip hop, and this works out. I don't mind hip hop, but usually it's a little too sweary for a lot of YouTube. Now I'll just take shit down all the time as I swear. Okay. Well, anyway, so so you have the circle, right? You want to just go and block this out. I love to do poly F when I'm working with my start out block out, because poly F brings different colors to different groups, right? And I can turn off this line and it'll just be this if I want to, or I can just do fill, but I want that color. So let's go ahead and drag this out. And so for her, I can scale it, and her feet are gonna be like right here. I have her feet cut off. This is like a screenshot of her that I did. And then you can go over to here, and this here's your opacity. So I can drop my opacity, and then you have your reference. Now there's a lot of people that put the reference behind, but it doesn't really matter, because when you go behind, you can like leave it in the back, and then I can just do like that, and I can sculpt him. It's not much different. It's just kind of up to preference. So from here, I go ahead and have my head shape. At this point, I only use this IMM tool, which is for me to get new shapes out. Or then I can also use the move tool if I want it to be like more than just a flat circle, right? Let's see. Okay, that's the front. Okay. So how our cheeks kind of go in like that. Then I'll there we go. Then I can bring down her chin a little bit. Just kind of want to get this basic shape. And this is going to be Mallet Boy, but I'm just kind of again bringing her shape out. Okay. I really love this artwork, by the way. It's from a character artist from Riot Games that did kind of a chibi character. Okay, so from here, I want to kind of have a neck space, and so let's go ahead and bring out the neck. So that my IMM, and I'm actually going to use the appendage. I like using the appendage tool a lot more. Okay, so neck is going to be somewhat small compared to the head, because these kind of characters that are like this ratio, they just, the head's just going to be a lot bigger than everything else in the body. Okay. And to click on the other one, you go ahead and press W, and then hold down Control, and then click, and then that is immediately masked, and then you can work with the face. That's why I love doing it this way, because I can't go with that green anymore, so I can immediately just work with this by itself. And so I'm gonna have this face. So a lot of anime type faces look and everything, and we're gonna kind of go for that chibi anime look. So he won't look exactly like he does in that reference. That's kind of just a base picture. Okay, that's looking good, I think. So you have the head and neck. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to want to do is the torso zone. So that'll be next. Now that's the big difference for my reference to this one is going to be because his torso, you look on here, is like much kind of like broader, right? He's kind of like a bit chubby over here, and then it kind of like he's like a bean shape, kind of goes out that way. This character is a lot more flat, but shows more interest in the arm areas. So, just making this base model. Okay, so back to IMM, and let's go ahead and get this base shape here. So I'm going to do the appendage brush again, and then bring it up, bring it in, okay, so I do want a little bit more broad than her, so this is okay to have kind of more of that barrel look and stuff. So, let me put back the movement tool on. Okay, so for now we're just kind of copying it very similarly, but not everything's gonna be the same. So let's bring out the shoulders. And as you can see with symmetry on, it brings out both the shoulders at the same time. Hold Alt and click this to snap that back to, and then Alt and then this to snap it to the center of the unmasked object. Okay, so let's get these shoulders right, looking nice and large. And then with ratio here on the side view, you want to kind of further back because your back leads into your rear delts, and your chest kind of stretches to your chest or your shoulder area. So what we can do here, if we want to, is kind of like neutral again, kind of bring it like that. So like not too much. Kind of like bring it to where it's kind of going to the chest like that. But I kind of want to block it at the moment. Okay, so now let's make these like kind of these arm pieces. Mellow Boy has really big forearms and not too skinny of arms like her, but still somewhat small. Let's see. Compared to the forearms anyway. Alright, so with this, I can go ahead and appendage again. I actually want the wider part to be right there, so I'm going to do like what she did. Okay. There we go. Maybe a little more and then a little smaller. Just for right now. Okay, so now that that arm piece is in, I can make the larger forearms that he has. So actually, she has pretty large forearms as well. So I can go ahead and go to this and just kind of see from these two references. I'll go ahead and have them both scaled up. Oops. Yeah, let's have them both kind of blown up here. That'll make my life a little bit easier, I think. Okay, and with this, let's see, I'm gonna go to pop. Yeah, there we go. So with appendage, I'm going to bring him out, bring it in, and then let's go ahead and put it here, and then let's see, there we go. Just replacing anyway, this is not going to be like that. Alright, so the move tool. It's almost like an old school Mega Man. Here's another tool that I'll mention, clip curve. You hold down Control and Shift, right? And then you can cut into like that. Oh, with symmetry on, I can't. Oh, okay. So let's see if I can do it like this. Okay, because it's cutting out this sound, so I know actually just press Shift and there we go. There we go. We'll add some elbows in there in a second. So right now we're just getting that block out. Alright, now we're getting to the waist area. So I'm going to add another circle to the bottom. Oh, my symmetry tool is doing that. It's odd. Okay. So this, you're making that kind of hip area, like this area right here. Hip and crotch zone. So, man, I have some like goofy music going on. Let's see. Silver Sky. Let's do some jazz maybe. Jazz is usually pretty good. Wowza. Guess experimental jazz. Let's see. Classical. I like classical music. Okay. So, we're just kind of blocking this guy out still. Let's keep this going. It's like Mega Man, for sure. Move tool. Okay, let's see what the scale is on her. So I need to kind of widen this out a tad. I'm assuming the knees are going to be like right here. So let's go ahead and add another appendage. And then another appendage for the bottom of the legs, the calf area. Okay. Here we go. And then his feet. So he has some kind of boot type things. Well, let's fix this real fast. Okay, gonna need more. So this, okay, so this is a problem right here. You'll see that these are repeating, and so what you can do with this is I can go ahead and mask out this zone. And actually, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna get out the lasso mask, or mask lasso, and the lasso at the bottom here. Control click and then Control W, and that made these arms different. So now they're not the same. I'll do the same thing for this. Control click, Control W. Now these are different than these. Okay. Now I'm going to go to these upper legs and shrink them a tad. Maybe not so much. And then, here we go. There we go. Yep, that looks good. Having big arms and big lower legs and everything adds some interest to the character and what they're doing. When your character is animated, especially a stylized character, you want to have a lot of pull to look at what he's doing or what they're doing, right? And so if a character kicks, you want them to have kind of like larger features, or the features to kind of look larger while they're kicking. And then if they're like hitting or if they're attacking, like slicing and everything, then you're having like bigger muscles here, simply because if you have like large muscles in the top area, then it'll kind of draw attention sometimes to what's actually happening. And you'll have big characters that do have the large arms and stuff like that, but for the most part, small characters will look something like this. And I'll go ahead and add some calves. Right, and it shrinks there. I'm gonna lower this a tad bit. And then I'm gonna add like hands and add feet. So IMM. Let's go ahead and add. Let's add some hands. We're gonna need some hands. Use the move tool. So with hands, kind of make this half circle. You have like this palm. You have the palm area. You kind of have this kind of like concave circle area where the palm kind of like does that. And then these characters are only gonna have 4 fingers. So like the thumb and three main fingers. And on stylized characters, a lot of times they only have 2 joints, right? So you're gonna have this main joint, and you're gonna have a secondary joint, and the secondary joint's like kind of like the curved joint, like that's kind of like this kind of thing. So I'm going to focus on that at this point. And a big thing also you want to notice is the hand meet here and also here. So as I'm going into this, those are things I'm considering. I'm going to actually add like block ends for those things. So here is the inside hand area. Okay. Use the move tool and kind of have this hand area. I'll also use the appendage tool for like the fingers themselves. So you're just doing this zone right here. Okay. Alright, so we have that. Now let's add some fingers. So I'm going to go back to the IMM, appendage. Let's go ahead and add the thumb zone. I'm going to add just a circle. Just in case. Okay. So here, move tool, you're making this part of the thumb, right? The pre-thumb zone. So doesn't need to be that large, so I can break it down a tad bit. Okay, so right there. Let's see. Okay, so now we have this piece. Make sure that it's looking good. So let's take off this and look at it from afar. This is how your character looks so far, blocked out. And we do this, and I think like it's been half an hour, but I talked about things for a little bit, so we're not doing too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and okay, it's having the same problem. So you go ahead and mask out the shoulders. Okay, Control Tab, and then Control W, and then back to it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just making this block out. Here's the back area. Okay. Okay, now let's make the thumb itself. Actually, I'm gonna fix this. It's just a bit too small and kind of curves. Makes that curve of the hand. Alright, so now let's use the appendage brush to make these fingers. So when you're making fingers, consider this, is that it's not directly flat, right? It's kind of at an arc, like it's doing like this. And so when you're placing the fingers, you can also do it like that. So, so for instance, you'd want to do like something like that instead of just flat. Okay, so let's go ahead and try it. Also the thumb, you're gonna have the two joints, right? So let's do the thumb first. That looks pretty funny, actually. That's a silly angle. Okay, so let's make this thumb. Okay. Alright, so with the thumb like this, I'm going to bring it to the side, and then shrink it a tad bit. It doesn't need to be that long. There we go. So that's the first joint of the thumb, and then let's make the second one. Let's see how the colors are going. Okay, that's looking solid. So making sure that the other greens aren't going to be in the same subtool, or not subtool, polygroup. Okay, so now let's do this. Okay, to the secondary finger piece for the thumb, and so we have like this part right here. So with the thumb piece, I have it gonna go up, so it's like it's broken, right? And then I'm going to use the old widget to bend it, like a perfect bend. So you hold down Alt, and then you can grab this middle section, and all you see is white circle, and you can maneuver this. So hold Alt, and then bam, got a nice little like stylized curved finger, right? Let me bring it in a little bit. Yeah, so that's your thumb. Let's look at it normally. Okay, so now we can add the other fingers real quick. Let's see. Appendage. The first finger. We need a way smaller than that. I'm go ahead and redo that part. Okay, so how do your actual hand go? You have kind of like a L shape kind of thing with a little bit of webbing in between. You have the main meat that we showed you, right? So you have the kind of a square. This kind of goes out. So, and then this kind of goes straight up. So I'm actually going to go back to this right here and kind of reevaluate it a tad. Okay. This needs to go out a tad bit more. Like that. And then this thumb is down. See, like you have the main four, and then you have this kind of like slopes down like that. It's a different plane. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it a different plane. So it's maybe down like here, right? And then let's get the secondary part of the thumb. Bring it in. There we go. So now you kind of have like this look and everything. So you have like the square, meat, your thumb on this plane. It's down further, and you have the four. So from here, Gonna go ahead and squash this down a tad bit. Right, this main zone thing. This goes inward like that. Cool. Alright, so let's get this finger going. We're having this issue again where it's the same polygroup. So go ahead and mask this off. Control click, Control W, and then back to the solo one. Okay, so make sure that on this area it's straight, just like my hand is, right? So we want to have it straight in accordance, kind of like this L shape, and let's make that webbing look. So kind of bring it in like that, and then kind of web it. So I'm going to bring it down a tad bit, then like right there. Okay. Okay, that's looking better for sure. Okay, so now we can go ahead and do these fingers again. So let's get back to these fingers after. Let's clean that up a little bit. Let's bring it a little past that point. There we go, that looks better. So back to this finger. Let's go ahead and back to the IM brush and pull it out from there. So let's bring a finger out. And then you want this finger about the same length as this first finger, because normally people have 3 joints per finger, but with Stylized you have these 2, and you want the second one to be congruent to the first one, so or that, like, at least the same scale or size, because this to this is the same as this to this, basically. And so if you're making this all one, then that's how you do it that way. All right, and move tool. This is the point where I can square things out, or I can kind of just do what I want as far as shape goes, so like that, and it's pretty close. So now back to the widget Y, and then let's go ahead and maneuver this. Hold on Alt, click on the white box, and then curve it. There we go. Kind of like that curve, that cartoony curve. All right. Okay. So to widget. I'm going to bring this over. So okay. Okay, so now that I have blocked out a finger, we can do the same exact thing with the other ones, and just think about the scale of them. So with this, you're kind of taking out the ring finger. So you're here, right? You're doing like you have the middle finger, the pointer finger, and the pinky finger. There's no need for this ring finger on these characters. So what I can do is bring these out, bring this guy out. Okay, mask everything, mask only this, Control W, that makes it its own subtool, right? When you do that, we can place this back. Oops, what was that? That looks funky. Oh, I see. Okay, so now we can mask this off, or mask everything else off, and let's see. That's a new one. Why is it doing that? Okay, it's not having too much fun, so I'm gonna get rid of that. That's odd. That's never happened before. Let's see. So let's make everything organically. That's okay. Back here, it's already placed, so might as well just back up. Okay, back to the IMM appendage. Go ahead and make this large one a little more. Let's move it. Like that. I love the new widget in ZBrush. They did such a good job on it. It's much more like the Maya widget now. Okay, so back to IMM appendage. Let's bring him out. So remember that I showed you before, so you want to have like kind of like a U shape, or so let's middle finger is bigger than the pointer finger. Okay. So I'm going to move this into place. blocking out stage is fairly easy. You're really just gonna get the big shapes going. You can add a lot more detail later. Okay, using the move tool. Actually, on these, I'm going to bring a dip. Kind of give them a little more meat on the inside. Because on humans, or for us, we have kind of like this small dip, small, your muscle, and then you have the bone only, right? So the top, let's go ahead and do that with the same thing on this joint. Alt. Okay. There we go. It's looking cartoony. Y. Alt. Yeah, it looks fun. Now, with the thumb, let's change the scale a tad bit and make it a little bit wider. Thumbs are usually pretty wide. So I'm going to bring it out like that and make it wider. Perhaps not that big. There we go. I'm more happy with that result. Okay, so let's get back to the fingers. IMM. There we go. So making sure the middle finger is the one pointing straight up, right? So the middle finger is the one on the fingers. It's going to define that is that major finger, right? Turn it a little bit, a little straighter. I've heard too, like you want to kind of like align it to where it's in line with the bone right here. So you have like this, and that kind of shapes through here, and then it goes like that. I've heard about that too. Alright, so let's go ahead and curve these. So WY to the old widget. Alt. Find that white circle. It's like that. Okay, let's click on this one. Looks like we have that same issue again. So let's go ahead and mask this off. Control click, Control W, back to it. Okay, we're still using this old widget for this one. Alt. Here we go. Bring a little bit of meat to this area, the pre-finger area, and this needs to be squared out a little more. So let's bring that for the pinky zone, and it's kind of like back up down a little bit. So this kind of goes up, and this goes down, and then this goes down. Okay. There we go. This is what we've got so far, guys. It's looking kind of fun. Let's have less room in the legs. That's why I like constantly looking at the big picture. You can kind of see what needs to be shifted and stuff. There we go. Let's bring this down a tad bit. Okay, with this area, I like to curve this just a little bit, and with the upper leg, I like to cover the. I like to do it the other way, to where it's more like that. See, kind of like that muscle here, right? The muscle that defines your quads are pretty prominent, and usually almost no one has this hamstring area. And then with this, the shin kind of just flows nicely right from the side view. Your calves, shins kind of flow into your ankle area. Make this area slightly bigger. And the blockhead only had a huge shoulder like this because of the that character had clothing that was pretty decorative. But we can drop the shoulders a tad bit and then widen them. They just don't need to be that like look large, I guess. There we go. So let's finish off this last finger. So I'm going to do the appendage brush again. Bring it in. Okay, that's pretty large, so let's bring it down to size. Make sure that on this is like doing that kind of U. Okay, might as well go ahead and do the widget piece or part. So the old widget, press Y. Should be in a your widget mode, and then bring it down. Okay. Alright, so now that we have this piece, let's go ahead and extrude another appendage real fast. The last finger part. Make it a little smaller. There we go. Let's go ahead and do Y, Alt, there we go. Okay, so it's looking a little bit crooked. There we go. Make this one a little smaller. It's looking a little bit larger than the middle finger. Can't have that. Okay, so again, let's make this its own polygroup. Back into it. I don't want the pinky to be as large as the pointer finger. Okay, cool. Looking pretty good so far. Let's add these feet. So first off, I'm going to make the bottoms of the feet. Let's bring this up. And then it's kind of like your heel area. Okay, so that's the heel area. Okay, so let's do the front of the foot. So that's the front of the foot is let me bring these textures back up. Not really sure how that got turned off. Oops. Okay, so I'm gonna have a kind of more of a square front foot. So I'm actually going to let's see. So back to this. Use the quads. Okay. He's got like goofy circles as his feet so far. Okay. Let's bring these in. Let's bring these down actually. Okay, so from this here from the side, squish this. Yes. I want to see how it looks from the big view. Okay, I'm going to use that cut tool. And again, this one is holding down Control and Shift. There we go. Now you have flippers. I'm going to smooth this out. Smooth this out. Use the move tool. Kind of get it into place. Alright, so one thing that feet have is you have that arch. So let's kind of create a small arch. Kind of the muscle or the bones that go that way. Kind of gotta go through here. And this part. And then back to the widget. Let's go ahead and. So I'm going to do two legs. So one goes up. This one down. That looks right. Alright, so just move this out a tad bit. Okay. Okay. It's a little bit too wide. Okay. Alright, so that's your basic character block out. And we can add eye zones, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. I hope you enjoyed this segment of just blocking out and like blocking out a stylized character. I'm going to do one more movement or one more thing for this. Let's go ahead and make these feet a little bit bigger. Alright, and then reshape them into the heel area. There we go. So there is your stylized character block out. Way faster than my opinion, and I think it looks pretty good. A few things that can be adjusted, but I think that for the most part it's looking pretty solid. Just looking for parts that might need a quick adjustment, but I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Yeah. Alright, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you for next time. Alright. Peace. Lord Asmore out.